That sounds awful if that's what Satan's doing. It would be awful if Christians are involved in that today. There is no place for images. There's no place for crucifixes. There's no place for prayer beads. There's no place for pictures of saints and pictures of Christ to be used in adoration and worship and prayer. There's no place for that. It's against the Word of God. And it says they make an image to the beast who had the wound with a sword and he came to life. We'll back up to Matthew 24 because I want you to see that Christ warned that this was going to happen. And I want to maybe get a concept across that you might have not thought about before. But the concept is this, that the Scriptures tell us that in the last times, false Christs are going to appear. Now I repeat what I said at the beginning. A false Christ is not this guy that went up to Oregon, remember, and had all the people dancing around with the bells and acting crazy in trances, and he was very large and wore a big turban and rode around in his 14 Rolls Royces. That's not a false Christ. That's a false person that says they're a Messiah. But we're not talking about that. Jesus said in Matthew 24, and starting in verse 11, "And many false prophets will arise and will mislead many." Now, if a prophet gets up and says, "Worship Buddha," do you think that'll fool anybody? Would it fool you? If it says, "Worship Tao, the great spirits of the departed. Worship Confucius in his ancient wisdom. Worship the great gods of Egypt," would that really get any of you? No, but if they said, "Worship Jesus Christ this way," our ears would perk up. We'd say, "What?" And if they'd say, "Yeah, I'll show you what I could do," and fire comes down from heaven, you'd go, "Wow, maybe they do have something to say." And look what it says. "And many false prophets," verse 11, "will arise and mislead many." Now, cut across to verse 23. "Then if anyone says to you, 'Behold, here is the Christ,' or 'There he is.'" Did you know in California, among those great California live oaks, that there's a group up in Big Sur that has seen Christ, his face, in an oak tree? What's that? How about the lady in Chicago that was baking a tortilla in a low-income housing? Do you know how they do that? They put them on the burner. We're from California. We used to do that too. It's kind of fun. If your burner's clean, you just bake them on the burner. It's quick. They get hot and you eat them. She put her tortilla on the burner, lifted it up. She went, "Oh, it's the face of Jesus." Thousands of people have gone there. It's become an official shrine. Jesus of the tortilla. Look what it says in verse 23. "If anyone says, 'He's here, there's the Christ,' don't believe him. 'He's over there,' don't believe him." Verse 24, "For false Christs and false prophets will arise and will show great signs and wonders so as to mislead, if possible, even the elect." Not just the people that profess to be Christians, but the really saved ones might get led astray. Why? Because it'll be so believable. If I came up and was holding red money and says, "Come on, I'll sell these $100 bills for $25, would any of you buy them? But if they were green and had, who's on the $100 bill? Let's see, Jefferson or Lincoln or whoever, Franklin. If I held up one that had Ben Franklin on it and Independence Hall in the back and it was beautifully engraved and I said they're $25, you might buy one if it looked like a $100 bill. Do you realize that false Christs are not these Eastern mystic people? They're people that arise within the church and try and teach people to falsely worship the true Christ. And they try and lead them subtly away from the truth. Rat poisoning is not 100% strychnine. It's 99% good grain and just a drop of poison. "For false Christs will arise. They'll mislead many." Verse 25, "Behold, I've told you in advance. If therefore they say to you, 'Behold, he's out in the wilderness,' or he's up at Big Sur in a oak tree, don't believe him. 'Behold, he's in the inner room,' don't believe them." Why? "Because just as lightning flashes from the east, even to the west, so shall the coming of the Son of Man be." What's he saying? He's saying that Jesus Christ will return with incontrovertible. No false prophet can fake it. Nobody can have Christ hiding out in the wilderness, and only the super saints will find him. Jesus Christ said, "Stop watching the signs and wonders and follow the Word." Did you know that's what the Bible's always said? You know what it says in Deuteronomy 18? If someone does come and does make a prophecy and does perform a miracle, and if that person's words don't match up with what Moses told you, kill them. Now, we're not under that economy. Don't be like the abortion clinic guy and shoot people. That was murder. That was wrong. No matter how many people that abortionist murdered, it was wrong for that fella to shoot him for whatever purpose. But the lesson is this. Jesus Christ said, watch out for false Christs. The worship of Mary in Roman doctrine, elevating her to co-mediatrix with Jesus Christ, is false worship. It's against the Bible. To say, as the Roman Church says, that she mediates and makes up what Christ's sacrifice couldn't do is wrong. That's why it's very difficult. You know, there are some great religion programs at Catholic universities. I have been challenged many times by articles from the Catholic Biblical Quarterly. I have learned much from Catholic scholars, but I could not go to a Catholic school and go to school. You know why? I wouldn't want to be desensitized to the false religion they teach. I wouldn't want to start liking them so that I would say that they are believers and what they're teaching is true. You need to be careful. You need to be careful because you live beside and work beside and have close friends who believe error. You need to lovingly always have your guard up